months ago, I made a couple of Iceberg videos, one on internet mysteries and the other on true crime and unsolved cases. I really enjoyed doing those, so I thought I'd do another one, this time on pop culture conspiracy theories. If you enjoy internet mysteries, conspiracies and true crime, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. I also have a Patreon and a PayPal, so if you're interested in supporting the channel, feel free to check those out, links will be in the description. The purpose of this video is basically just to give you a list of rabbit holes that you can explore yourself in more detail. I'll be giving a short summary for each one, and if there's any that I mention that you'd like to see a full video on, please feel free to let me know in the comments. As with my other iceberg videos, the further down the iceberg we go, the deeper the rabbit hole. The thing with pop culture conspiracies is they're not exactly all conspiracies per se, as in they're not all huge government cover-ups or anything. Some of them are just rumours with some evidence backing them up. I included some of those in this video, but the more basic rumour ones will be in tier 1, leading down to tier 4, which will be deeper and darker rabbit holes. Credibility does not necessarily increase going further down, just complexity. Quick disclaimer, all the theories discussed are just theories, not facts. There's not necessarily any solid evidence behind them, so I encourage you to do your own research. Unless I clearly state at any point, I didn't make any of these theories up myself. I just compiled a list that I found on the internet, some of which are probably going to be controversial, as many conspiracies are, but I don't necessarily believe them. This video is just for entertainment purposes. This couldn't be a pop culture conspiracy iceberg without a mention of the Paul McCartney is dead theory, which has been circulating as far back as 1967. Apparently, Paul died in a car crash in November 1966, and so he was replaced by the winner of a lookalike contest. For years, people have been comparing photos of Paul before and after 1967, highlighting inconsistencies. There are also a number of apparent clues and references in the Beatles' songs and album covers. There's a theory that many celebrities and public figures are actually shape-shifting reptiles who are part of a secret order that aims to control the Earth. People rumoured to be reptiles include Queen Elizabeth, Lady Gaga, Mark Zuckerberg, Beyoncé, Tom Cruise and Elon Musk, among many others. There's never much evidence behind this, apart from supposed video evidence, which could have easily been manipulated, such as the clip of Justin Bieber's eyes looking reptile-like for a split second. Cheryl and Ashley Cole got married in 2006 and were together for 4 years before they broke up due to Ashley's infidelity. This theory suggests that the whole marriage was a sham to make Cheryl look less racist. She has been accused of racism on more than one occasion. For example, in 2003, she attacked a toilet attendant in a nightclub in what was rumoured to be a racist assault. Whether or not it was a racist attack is unclear, but if Cheryl is racist, what better way to throw people off the scent? Usually, you can only see the sclera, or the whites of someone's eyes, on each side of the iris. Sanpaku eyes refer to eyes that have visible sclera either above or below the iris too. It's thought that if the sclera is showing below the iris, that's a sign of imbalance in the body and is common in alcoholics, drug addicts, and people who meet tragic fates. Examples include Princess Diana, Michael Jackson, and Billie Eilish. The sclera showing above the iris is a sign of a violent person who will often be their own downfall. An example is Charles Manson. This has, unsurprisingly, blown up on TikTok, and there are many examples of this being discussed. But for every person this theory fits, there's probably 10 who don't, kinda like horoscopes. JonBenet Ramsey was a child beauty queen who was murdered in 1996 at the age of just 6 years old. A ransom note was left by the apparent intruder, which made no sense as she was already dead. Though this conspiracy suggests that her death was a hoax and that she actually grew up to be Katy Perry. Obviously this makes no sense, and pretty much the only evidence is that the two look alike, their parents look alike, and Katie once mentioned John Benet in her memoir. 6 years ago, Kim Kardashian underwent an IVF procedure to have a second child with Kanye West. Some people believe that they took this opportunity to design their baby. This ranges from just picking the gender to picking other features such as eye colour, for example. This was after their daughter North was born and Kanye reportedly wanted a boy next. An unnamed source told US Weekly that the couple chose only to have male embryos implanted, though there's no proof of that. The rest of this theory basically just seems to be that they have cute kids, so they must have been designer babies. Remember when Bozzo got the virus that must not be named? There were theories going round that he was either totally faking it, or that he wasn't as ill as he seemed to be. At the time, and even now, lockdown and restrictions have been the topic of much debate, and while some people supported how Boris handled the situation, many criticised him for not making restrictions tighter, and a whole separate group of people were totally opposed to the lockdown. The theory suggests that Boris either faked having the virus or played up how bad it was to get sympathy, and with hopes that the media and general public would go easier on him. Labour politician Valerie Vaz recently implied she is doubtful that Boris was in intensive care. A few years ago, everyone was talking about how if you slow down Adele's voice, she sounds exactly like Sam Smith. This theory wasn't the first of its kind though, with people comparing Kylie Minogue and Rick Astley's voices decades ago. But what does this mean? Are they the same person in disguise? A more plausible explanation would be that some singers are just a face that could easily be famous, like some who use extreme auto-tune, and someone else's voice is passed off as theirs. But in reality, it's probably just a coincidence. Big Brother is a reality TV show where a group of contestants live in a house together, constantly under video surveillance, with no contact from the outside world. They take part in various activities to win privileges and have to nominate housemates for potential eviction. It's cheap entertainment at its finest, but what if the real purpose of it was much darker? Maybe it's a government experiment to see how people react to constant surveillance and isolation. Even if it's not government related, it could provide somewhat useful psychological insight, assuming it's not all set up, but that's a pretty big assumption. This probably would have been further down if it wasn't so ridiculous. I don't think I need to go into too much detail for this one. Basically, some people believe the Earth is flat because you can't see the curve in a plane, and photos of space are fake. It actually goes pretty deep, and you could spend hours researching it, but ultimately, the evidence is just pseudo-scientific nonsense. Rapper B.O.B. went off on one a few years ago on Twitter, and despite experts trying to disprove his claims, he wasn't swayed. Pat McGrath is a makeup artist who has her own makeup brand of the same name. The Instagram account posts tutorials to promote the makeup, and it's been speculated that they use a lifelike robot for some of these. For some of them, it's actually somewhat plausible, particularly the lipstick clips. They just don't quite look real somehow. I don't know why they'd use robots rather than just hire a model, but let's not ask too many questions. This theory suggests that Beyoncé is lying about her age and that she's actually 47 as opposed to 39. She has a sister, Solange, who might actually be her daughter. An employee of the Department of Health in Texas claimed that Beyoncé was really born in 1974 rather than 1981 as she claims, and there are many other discrepancies, so honestly it seems somewhat plausible that she is lying about her age, though I'm not sure if it's as much as 8 years. There's next to no evidence that Solange is Beyoncé's daughter though, other than the age discrepancies. When Taylor Swift won the award for Best Female Video at the 2009 VMAs, Kanye West got on stage to interrupt her and proclaim that Beyoncé should have won. Like many other iconic celebrity moments, perhaps it was staged for publicity. Taylor, Kanye, Beyonce and Jay-Z could have orchestrated it, or MTV could have set the whole thing up to boost ratings. There's also a theory that the public humiliation was Taylor's initiation into the Illuminati. On the note of Taylor Swift, did you know she's a 4chan user? Maybe. Years ago, there was a thread where Anon said, "Trips names my new kitten," with a photo of a kitten. I don't even know what Trips means, but it appears that Trips chose the name Meredith. The next day, Taylor Swift announced her new kitten would be named Meredith, and posted a photo which looked very similar to the kitten on the 4chan thread. There are other photos posted on 4chan that look suspiciously similar to Taylor's room, and it's actually a somewhat convincing theory. There's also speculation that before Lorde got famous, she self-promoted her music on 4chan. Someone put the music out there, so if it wasn't Lorde, it must have been someone who knew her. After it was basically public knowledge that Prince Charles had an affair with Camilla, Princess Diana then had an affair with James Hewitt. Comparing photos of Prince Harry with Charles and James, he debatably looks more like James, at least they're both ginger. That would be huge, as it would mean that Harry isn't actually a royal. There seems to be conflicting information on when exactly the affair took place, but general consensus seems to be that it began in the mid-80s, and Harry was born in 1984, so it's not totally implausible. According to this theory, after her granddad died in 2003, Avril Lavigne took her own life and was replaced by a body double named Melissa Vandella. This is mainly based on changes in Avril's appearance over time and debatable changes in her voice. The person who started this rumour admitted that they made it up to highlight how things spread on the internet, and Avril herself has publicly stated on more than one occasion that this is nonsense, but obviously you would say that, Melissa. There are a number of celebrities who have been rumoured to be immortal, from Nicolas Cage to Keanu Reeves to Jay-Z. Sometimes these rumours begin with a historical photo of someone who looks strikingly similar to a current celebrity, or when people realise that a celebrity just doesn't seem to age, like Will Smith. In 2017, Selena Gomez underwent a kidney transplant donated by her friend Francia Reza. Selena suffers with lupus, an autoimmune disease which can cause kidney failure, though this theory suggests that she actually needed a kidney transplant due to being addicted to drugs. Some people even believe that she never had lupus and it's just a front for an addiction, which is a bit far-fetched, but it's possible that alcohol or whatever else could have made her kidneys worse. Selena and Francia seemingly fell out, or at least distanced themselves from each other at one point, with rumours that Francia wasn't happy after hearing that Selena had been drinking after the transplant. This theory suggests that some celebrities who are known for being dumb are actually smart, and it's all just an act for publicity. I don't know if this is a theory so much as it is a fact in some cases. One example of this is Paris Hilton, who may be known for being famous for the sake of being famous, but she's actually a smart businesswoman. Same goes for Kim Kardashian, who's even studying to be a lawyer now. While Lady Gaga was creating the album Art Pop, she attempted to seek approval from Lou Reed, who ended up hating the tracks she gave him, even calling them nauseating. At the time, he was recovering from liver disease, but died from it a few days before the album released. Or maybe Gaga killed him to prevent him criticising the album. Another alleged victim was Lena Morgana, who was apparently a rival of Gaga. The official story is that she died in 2008, either by accidentally or intentionally falling from the roof of a hotel, but the pieces all come together when you realise that Gaga was actually responsible. This cleared the way for her to steal Lena's image and become the Gaga that we know today. There are new trends daily on the internet, and most are product related somehow. What if companies were actually starting these trends to boost their sales? This could apply to videos focusing on a single product that people claim is a game changer, or to hack videos themselves, particularly ones where an excessive amount of a product is used. For example, there was a trend on TikTok a while ago where people were applying a crazy amount of foundation and highlighter, literally 3 or 4 times the amount you'd normally use. There's also a really disappointing trend of people just being wasteful for the sake of it, for example buying hundreds of plastic water bottles just to pour them out and bin the bottles. Some of these trends just seem so pointless, and it makes you wonder who started them and why. Family Guy has actually predicted a number of pop culture events, from Kevin Spacey's misconduct allegations to Caitlyn Jenner's transition. These could just be lucky guesses, but it could also mean that Seth MacFarlane is in the know. Perhaps sometimes he's trying to expose a dark secret in the case of Spacey, and maybe it's a testing the water thing with others. The Kardashian-Jenner family are one of the most famous families in the world, debatably for no good reason. In 2007, a tape that Kim had made with her ex-boyfriend Ray J was leaked by a company who claimed they purchased it from a third party for $1 million. Perhaps that third party was Kris Jenner, Kim's momager. Considering the lengths this family will go to stay relevant, is not that much of a stretch. Kris's parenting has been brought into question many times, and it's even speculated that she might have been the cause of Khloe's insecurities, as she allegedly walked in on Kris saying that she was overweight when she was younger. SpaceX was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk, and since then there have been a number of interesting theories surrounding it. None of them have a huge amount of evidence, so I'm grouping a couple together here. One of them is that SpaceX was set up with the main focus of providing an escape from Earth for the elite if and when the world ends. Another is that some, if not all, SpaceX launches are fake. I can totally see how some of the clips kinda look fake, but I think if Elon was gonna fake the launches, he'd probably have them all be successful. On the note of Elon Musk, there have been many conspiracies surrounding him and his persona. One is that he made himself into a meme so he'd be a less easy target for assassination because everyone knows who he is. Another is that his Twitter rants and random fails are intentional, so his competitors underestimate him, and at some point he's going to swoop in with some crazy perfected technology. Stevie Wonder isn't blind is one of my favourite theories because it's just so outlandish, but there's actually some interesting evidence behind it. And what makes it even better is how it could be taken as offensive or insensitive, but Stevie takes it so well and jokes about it himself. In 2010, Stevie was performing on stage when Paul McCartney knocked the microphone and he caught it. Shaquille O'Neal recalled a time when Stevie walked into the elevator he was in and said, "What's up, Shaq?" then pressed the button. It's been suggested that Stevie might be partially blind but still able to see vague outlines, though apparently he has claimed that he's fully blind in the past, so who knows. MKUltra was a program of human experiments performed by the CIA with a focus on mind control. In November 2016, Kanye West was involuntarily committed after a series of bizarre outbursts and Twitter rants. It was theorised that he wasn't receiving psychiatric treatment here though, but rather MKUltra reprogramming. He had been speaking publicly on various conspiracy theories, and I guess if you think he's in the Illuminati, he probably knows some of what's really going on, and the elite were worried he was going to expose them. A few years ago, a clip of Britney Spears singing was posted on Instagram. It looked a bit weird though, like it had been sped up. And when you slow down the clip, Britney's voice sounds much deeper. If you look back on clips of Britney singing when she was younger, she has a deeper and much more powerful voice back then too, suggesting that the baby voice is actually put on, probably not through her own choice. There's a separate theory that she didn't sing on her album Britney Jean, and instead most of the vocals were Maya Marie, a backing singer. In 2018, a Facebook Live video was followed by a YouTube video totaling around 40 minutes dedicated to proving that Lea Michele can't read or write. There are a couple of clips where she's reading out the winner of an award with someone else, and she waits for them to start saying the name before she does. Fans have also said that Lea doesn't do personalised autographs, maybe because she can't. This might be my favourite type of theory, ridiculous yet still quite compelling. This theory suggests that Eminem died in 2006 or 2009 and was replaced by a clone who would be more compliant. Evidence includes him looking slightly different and his music changing, as well as hints in his lyrics. There was also a clip of him a few years ago where he's on live TV and just totally zones out for a while, like someone switched off his brain or something, but that could also be explained as an MKUltra glitch. In 2017, a 4chan user posted a theory that Barron, Donald Trump's son, is a time traveller, referencing books written by Ingersoll Lockwood in the late 1800s. The books focused on a character named Baron Trump, and some of the parallels were striking. For example, another character, the Master of all Masters, is a man named Don. It's also been theorised that the Trump family owns a time machine, which Donald's uncle, John Trump, acquired from Nikola Tesla. Beyoncé gave birth to her daughter, Blue Ivy, in 2012. Or did she? In a clip of her sitting down during an interview, her bump appeared to deflate, and this sparked theories that she wasn't actually pregnant, and instead used a surrogate. Similar theories circulated about Meghan Markle and also Kate Middleton, but as far as I could tell, they had even less proof, and mostly just focused on the fact that their bumps looked fake somehow. Jill Dando was a TV presenter who appeared on the BBC series Crime Watch. She was murdered in April 1999 by a single gunshot to the head. It was likely a professional hit, and it's not an uncommon belief that she was killed to prevent her exposing something, perhaps inappropriate stuff with kids, in which case is it beyond the realm of possibility that Jimmy Savile ordered the hit. He was the worst of the worst and was in a powerful position, so possibly could have arranged that. The 27 Club is a list of celebrities who died at the age of 27. These include Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, and Jim Morrison. There are claims of a statistical spike for the death of musicians at that age. This has been disproven, though the fascination surrounding the 27 Club still persists, and one popular theory is that celebrities sell their soul to get famous at a young age, then pay for it at 27. A few well-known couples are rumoured to be in open relationships, but keep it hidden either because they think it would damage their reputations, or just because it's easier than having to answer questions about it all the time. David Tennant and his wife Georgia Moffat were both known to be adventurous, so to speak, before they got married. And there are mentions in comments online about a certain tape featuring Georgia and not David, which surfaced a few years ago, but was apparently suppressed and covered up by the couple. They've been married for 10 years at this point, with kids, and they seem happy. Other than the tape, the existence of which doesn't seem to be provable at this point, there have been no cheating allegations against either of them. Other public figures who might be in open relationships include Bill and Hillary Clinton, and Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Avicii, real name Tim Bergling, was a popular DJ and musician who sadly took his own life in 2018. Not everyone is convinced that's really how he died though, and instead believe he was murdered. This actually appears to have originated on a site known to spread fake news, which claimed that Avicii was threatening to expose a paedophile ring shortly before his death. The video for his song, For a Better Day, was meant to raise awareness of human trafficking, though there's no evidence to suggest he was part of any investigation or that he was actually threatening to expose anyone. The Simpsons is pretty well known at this point for predicting the future due to a number of events occurring in episodes that later happened in real life too, such as Donald Trump becoming president and even vague hints at 9/11 supposedly. Some of these are quite interesting, but considering there are over 700 episodes of The Simpsons and it has relevance to real life, it makes sense that events will happen in the show and in real life through pure coincidence, and there are also many things that have happened in the show that didn't happen in real life. In Kendrick Lamar's lyrics, there are a couple of times where he outright says he killed someone, and many other times where vague hints are dropped. Rapping about something doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but he did say his lyrics come from his experiences and real life. And in an MTV interview, he said, "I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot, where I come from, I've done a lot to tear down my own community." I'm not too familiar with Kendrick or his music, so I can't comment personally, but seeing discussions of this on Reddit, fans seem to think it's possible that he did murder someone, or that he saw a friend or family member murder someone and it really changed him, and that's why he doesn't sugarcoat that lifestyle in his music. While Kim and Kourtney Kardashian have similar features and builds, Khloe has always looked quite different to her sisters. Maybe because she has a different dad. O.J. Simpson has long been rumoured to be Khloe's dad, though he and Kris Jenner deny having an affair. Khloe and O.J. do look kinda similar, but a more convincing possibility is that her real dad is actually Alex Roldan, Kris's hairdresser. John Lennon was fatally shot by a man named Mark David Chapman in 1980. Steve Lightfoot disagrees though, and created a whole website dedicated to spreading the message that Stephen King actually shot John. According to Steve, it was all a massive government cover-up, arranged by Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan. It's laughably implausible, but you have to admire this guy's dedication. There are many unconfirmed theories in music about certain songs being about certain people or events. For example, The Hills by The Weeknd is speculated to be about a secret relationship he had with Ariana Grande, and Taylor Swift's song Wildest Dreams might be about Zac Efron. Bill Gates has been the subject of many conspiracies recently, even more so since his divorce from Melinda was announced. It's theorised to have been a tactical move, either for tax evasion or for selling stock without raising suspicion. Apparently Jeff Bezos liquidated his position at the same time too, leading some to wonder if they both know the stock market is about to crash. There are a number of celebrities rumoured to be lying about their ages. One of the most compelling is Beyoncé, who we already mentioned in the theory about her being Solange's mum. Her official age is 39, though her dad once said that she was the same age as Pink, which would make her 41. She could even be older though. Gabrielle Union, who is 48, said that her and Beyoncé were friends since, quote, "we were teenagers." If Beyoncé is telling the truth about her age, there's no way her and Gabrielle could have been teenagers at the same time. Rebel Wilson is another one of the many celebrities who have reportedly lied about their ages. She even sued a publisher for defamation as she lost movie roles over the scandal. This video has literally taken me days to do, so much longer than I thought, so I had to split it into 2 parts to ensure I at least get something out on Thursday. If all goes to plan, part 2 will be out tomorrow on Friday, and it should be available to watch on my Patreon now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and leave your thoughts and theories in the comments. Huge thank you to my patrons whose names are on screen now. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow in a new video.